So yeah, when y'all pull up at work, do y'all just gotta like sit here for a minute? Like, I don't know, like I gotta sit here and get my thoughts together. I gotta get myself together. Like, I gotta marinate a little bit. I don't know. Is it just me or do y'all gotta do the same? Let me know.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Are you living on autopilot or are you living an intentional life? Let's talk about it. One of the biggest values that I have personally, and then also with Live Restfully, is breaking cycles that do not serve you. If you have ever looked at self-care affirmations that say like, take care of you first, prioritize yourself, fill your own cup before you fill others, and there's resistance there, like, yeah, that's nice, but that's not possible for me, then this is a moment where we can pause, and you can pause and ask yourself, is this actually true, or am I just living the cycle that was passed down to me? Common cycle is hustle culture, burnout culture, just working ourselves to death, like allowing ourselves to push ourselves to the limit where we get sick and we still are like, should we be working even though we're sick? When we grow up with parents who always like worked really hard because they didn't have options, totally get it, right? There is like so much going on there in terms of like, you gotta work, you gotta pay the bills. I totally get that, trust me. At the same time, when you work too hard and then you get sick, then you can't work at all. Is it really worth that, right? If you get to a point where you can't work, period, then what's the point? So you got to take care of yourself first. Over the last 5 years of my personal development journey, such a big thing for me has been that you actually have so much power to create the life that you want. If there's any part of your life that is repeating and you're just noticing like patterns in your life, like, man, I keep attracting the same type of people, same type of friends, same type of partners, similar repeated experiences at work. This just keeps happening to me. I love checking in and seeing what is the pattern or what is the cycle that I'm repeating. And it's actually a really good thing. It's very empowering because it means that you can change it. I don't have to tell you that if you are not intentionally doing the things that you want day to day, like your habits and the little practices that you're doing each day to create the life that you want, and instead you're living on autopilot, then you're going to be stuck in cycles that are done through your subconscious. And your subconscious is built up of things that you've learned from a very young age, right? So that's where like generational trauma gets passed down. If we're not intentionally breaking the cycle, then we're going to just continue the habits that we've learned and we're going to pass it down, right? So this is where you and I both know like the work is so key and you have so much power. And if breaking cycles speaks to you and it's part of your values, then you're definitely in the right place.
I have something to say, and it's going to ruffle some feathers, but a lot of you guys are on autopilot. You're going to work, you're doing the gym, you're scrolling, probably cooking, you go home. There's nothing that's lighting your life up at all. And then you're wondering why you're depressed. And it's like, girl, you're depressed because you're not injecting life back into your life. You're letting your responsibilities and your obligations take precedent over everything, so much so that you become backburnered in your own life. The reason why they call it burnout, well, you're on the back burner. You're being burnt out, okay? A lot of us don't even recognize it. I want to show you what to do. Like, I want to point out how you are constantly abandoning and neglecting yourself, so much so that you're not even living your life anymore. When's the last time you've done something for yourself? Something for yourself don't have to be a trip to Aruba. When's the last time you had a candlelit bath, candlelit shower, cooked yourself a favorite meal, sang out loud to the top of your lungs, watched a favorite show, read a book, colored something? Or your friends. When's the last time you saw your friends? Real question. When's the last time you called your mom if you guys have a good relationship? When's the last time you saw your family if you're in good standings with your family? I don't believe in standing in fucking toxic environments just because you feel like you have to. Okay, we're not gonna do that. When's the last time you've laughed? And I mean really fucking laugh. Laugh so hard that you thought your head was gonna explode. When's the last time you felt excited about something? And if you are sitting watching this video, asking yourself these questions and finding no answer to these questions, then my friend, you have abandoned yourself, because the obligations became priority and you became an option in your own life. You became an option in your own life. And you're on autopilot. And you're miserable. I'm here to wake you up and let you know you don't have to be fucking miserable. You don't have to keep living every day like it's fucking Groundhog Day. You can do one different thing a day. Whether that means you start to make one random recipe every Sunday. You create a watch list so there are shows you actually look forward to watching. You start to paint or color. You start to read some books. Find a comforting show. See your friends. Go for a walk. Sit on your roof one day and you just watch the sunset with a blanket, because it's fucking cold outside, because spring ain't fighting back. You take yourself to a pet shop and you just pet some puppies. I know these things seem obsolete. Here's the thing. Life is not just about accomplishing something. I have to tell myself that too. Like, life is not about just accomplishing something. Just because I'm not accomplishing something in that moment doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? And that's learning how to practice presence. When you're on autopilot, you're thinking about the next thing. You're not even in the present moment. You need to inject pockets of joy, pockets of happiness, pockets of peace, pockets of things that make you feel like yourself, things that make you feel alive. And also, I want to make this very clear. Things that make you feel alive don't have to be things that involve adrenaline. You don't have to jump out of a plane. You got to get something that gets you going. Provocative, gets the people going. And also, you have to understand that life is not about the big moments. It's about the small in-between things that make life living. You know what I realized? Whenever I don't want to go outside, when I'm like, oh, fuck it, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to go to that job. I don't want to commute on that train. You know what I look forward to every time I walk outside of my house? There's a cherry blossom tree right in front of my building. There is a cherry blossom tree right in front of my building. And every single time I go downstairs and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm fucking annoyed. I don't want to fucking travel. Take this goddamn train. New York. I step outside and I look over and I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful fucking tree. And it gets me excited about the day. It's like, oh my God, I get to come outside and look at this fucking tree. I know for some people it's like, you get excited to look at a damn tree. Hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah. I don't have to go to fucking Central Park. It's right outside of my fucking house. It smells amazing and it's beautiful. And it also kind of like resets my mindset. When I'm coming downstairs, I'm bitching and complaining about everything. Why am I living on the third floor? Oh my God, everything's so fucking far. And the minute I step outside, I'm like, oh my God, life is worth living. Because look at this fucking tree. Gotta find the look at this fucking tree moment. Have to find that in your life. Have to. Whether it's a song, a book, a conversation, a meal, something. Get you out of autopilot. A lot of us are on autopilot even when it comes to the things that we complain about. That's what I like about that fucking tree. I am on autopilot in the fact that I'm complaining about shit. It's gonna take some time to change. I'm trying to get out of the habit of complaining about things that take some time to change. So that tree pulls me out of it every single fucking time. I'm like, wow. Spring is here. She ain't fighting back though, but she here. Look at the trees. The tree got fucking flowers on it. Wow, it's like a bouquet. A tree-sized bouquet. But it gets me out of autopilot. But I'm going to leave you with this. You don't have to live your life on autopilot. You don't have to treat yourself as an option. You are always a priority. Stop abandoning yourself. Stop letting the obligations take precedent over who you are. You need love too. You need nurturing too. You need to be checked on too. The biggest thing I'm going to leave you with. Don't forget to live your life while you're making a living. Because a lot of us forget to do that. A lot of us forget to do that. And remember, living your life doesn't cost you much if you learn how to find value in the small things. I just want to let you guys also know, I'm dropping a podcast May 23rd, my birthday, called The Emotional Thesaurus. I've linked the podcast page in the comments down below. Would love for you to take a chance to just follow the page. And we're going to begin documenting the behind the scenes of following that process. Can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Research says that you make about 35,000 decisions a day, but it also says that you're only consciously making about 10% of those. So that means 90% of your day is spent on autopilot. Let's talk about how we can change that. Hey, Boo Things, LaVanya Chang here, author, trauma therapist. Most importantly, I am in this journey with you. When you think about that statistic to say that I make 35,000 decisions a day. You are making a decision right now, whether you're making a decision to stay on this video and actually watch it all the way through, or you're bored and you're already on to the next video. Like, you have made a decision, and we don't even know that we're making them. Why? Because our brain is trained and programmed to follow synapses, to follow neural pathways. And the way we build neural pathways is we do things over and over again. Our brain recognizes how to do that, and then we don't even have to think about it. So for some things, this is customary. This is good. We don't want to sit and have to think about brushing every single one of our teeth, right? We don't want to have to sit and think about how to tie our shoes. We don't want to have to sit and think about how to wash our face. Those things we need muscle memory for. But 35,000 decisions, and only 10% of them you're making consciously. So I want to ask you, how many decisions are you making unconsciously, and you're not even paying attention to the fact that you have a choice in this? I was talking to one of my therapy clients yesterday, and she was saying, I don't have a choice. And I said, you always have a choice. And she's like, no, I don't. Yes, you do. Let's talk about it. Well, I don't like the choices. That's the difference. You may not like the two decisions that you need to make, but you always have a decision. And if we would take ourselves out of muscle memory every once in a while, and we would be conscious enough and mindful enough to say, what is the decision that I'm making right now? Right? Am I making a decision because it is a neural pathway that I've often traveled, even if it's not positive, even if it's not healthy, even if it's toxic? Or can I make a different decision? Can I choose to not engage in this toxicity? Can I choose to not reply? Can I choose not to respond? Can I choose to consciously be present in my day? Right? When I was first starting mindfulness, I would set a timer on my phone for every hour to say, be mindful. Are you present? And I would recognize that when that timer went off, each hour that I was not present in the current moment, I was either thinking about worrying about something that I couldn't change in the future, or I was reminiscing over something in the past that I couldn't change either. So when I made a conscious decision that in that moment that I would pause, and for the next 60 seconds, I would be conscious. I would physically look at what's in front of me. I would listen to the sounds that are around me. I would smell what I could smell around. Like, I was consciously present in this moment. What were my hands doing? What was going on in my mind in that moment? Where was I present? I mean, some of these times I was having a conversation and my alarm would go off, and I would realize I wasn't even in the conversation. Right? So how do we change that and start increasing the amount of conscious decisions we make? Is that we practice mindfulness. And sometimes we practice mindfulness by setting an alarm, because if we just tell ourselves, I'm going to be mindful, you're not. So practice mindfulness, practice being present and consciously thinking about the decisions, thinking about your thinking, metacognition, in order to get yourself out of muscle memory for the things that you actually want to live through. Hope this helps. Follow for more. Meet me in the comments.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
I'm convinced that there's like 90% of people in office jobs that don't actually do anything. They don't do anything. There's 10% of people that drive things forward and make money for the company and actually produce. And then there's 90% of people that answer garbage emails that don't mean anything and jump on Zoom calls where nothing is talked about, and they push paper around, and all they do is pretend to look busy.
So, you know, at the end of a work meeting and they're like, oh, anything else? Or like, I'm more than happy to give you your time back. And the time back be like 74 seconds. Don't piss me off.
I cannot describe to you how much I fucking hate, loathe, detest working. And it's only happened to me like in the last couple of years. And I'll explain in another video why I just came out of the corporate environment, and it was due to white men and their dick swinging and their behavior and there's just ridiculous culture. But more than anything, what annoys me about working is that they or this system insist on stealing people's dreams in exchange for money, which is essential for our survival, for resources that the earth has in abundance, that we are all entitled to, but yet I'm supposed to work for you to pay for those things and be exhausted and have no time for myself. I'm supposed to raise children and can't afford the niceties in life. So what is the fucking point? Do you know what I mean? What's the fucking point? And like, if I was a world strategist right now, I would be worried, because so many people, especially the millennials and Gen Z, who are really important to the workforce right now. We are key to the workforce right now. The boomers and X, they're on the way out. We're holding shit down. We're the ones holding shit down, but we don't want to, because you've made it not worth it. Like, that is the key insight. It is not worth it for so many people that they have lost interest in this exchange. The exchange is no longer working. And I just don't know how much longer they'll be able to keep us there in these conditions. I just don't know. Because if you ask me, I think they might win the battle, but I feel like we'll win the war. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we'll win the war, because without us, the whole system technically collapses. And when everybody clocks on that the whole system collapses without us, then they're screwed. And I don't think we're far from it. I don't think we're far.
I get where she is coming from, but we are paying for other people's labor. We are paying for convenience, or else we would have to do it ourselves. We would have to find clean water for ourselves. We would have to make our own food, our own houses and everything. We would have to do all of those things alone. So we are paying for these services for convenience, or else we would have to do it ourselves. And since we don't want to do it ourselves, we pay other people to do it for us. That is how it works. We are paying other people for their time and their energy and their effort and their knowledge base as well. That is why we pay for all of these things.
I want to shake myself. I am so frustrated with myself, so angry with myself, because I'm like looking at myself currently and realizing, like, what the fuck are you doing? I am literally autopilot. I will look back at this time in my life and be so angry with myself, because I'm already angry with myself. I know the younger me is angry with myself. People say, oh, if you feel like you're not where you want to be yet, just think about your younger self. She's probably so proud of you now. She is as disappointed with me as I am with me currently. Because yes, my mental health has been doing so much better. Okay, we've been on the up and up. I have a job now, consistent pay, Monday through Friday. I'm using my degree, feeling fulfilled, helping people. And I literally, like, those things aren't even, I just want to like live a life that I'm proud of and excited about. And I'm telling you right now, like, I don't even know how to get there, because what? I'm just like angry with myself, actually.
Oh, this is a good question. Why does it feel like I get more anxiety when I'm present rather than my usual autopilot mode? Well, first, let's look at this. Autopilot mode is another way to say kind of you're numb. You're not even present in your body. So your body is just going. You're not even fully thinking about what's going on. So it's almost like a workaholic where you're numb to the situation. You're just going through the motions. And the fact that you can do that, your brain is not even going into a creativity mode to think outside, to see deeper, to see any other way. So you don't really feel it because you're ignoring it. It's another way of pushing it back and pushing those feelings away. You feel more anxiety when you're present because there is something that is igniting that anxiety. There is something that is going on to say there's something here. And when you become present, you are in that moment. And the point of being present is to actually see it, understand where it's coming from, and deal with it. And until you really and truly do that and get your body to understand what you're coming in contact with and what you're seeing and what you're viewing, you're going to continue to feel that anxiety. The thing about being present is presence allows you to work through the feeling, while being on autopilot and numbing yourself allows you to ignore the feeling. And the longer you ignore that feeling, the more likely that you are pushing that feeling down, but you're going to have to deal with it at some time or another. And if you don't deal with that anxiety, again, what it's going to happen is it's going to rise up and be bigger and bigger until it explodes in you and explodes in your nervous system. And that can, again, cause some kind of disease and come around and cause some type of nervous system issue, stomach issues, certain situations like that. And those will allow you to, and those will make it worse and make it harder for you to bring back your nervous system the longer you wait. But if you are anxious when you're present, see what's making you anxious. Also see what is going to be helpful in helping you cope with that anxiety. Does listening to like something I post like binaural beats, do listening to binaural beats help you? Relaxing music during those times, do they help you to deal with your anxiety? Do you know what is making you anxious, where it started? What was the trigger? What was the place, the pinpoint? And why are you getting that? Are you getting that anxious because you don't feel like you're enough? What thoughts are going on in your head? That's the point of being present, because you're allowed to see at this present moment, what made me feel like this? What made me do this? What made me get here? Because the thing is, it's hard to deal with something from your past if you don't remember every little detail. But when you're present, you get to see every little detail that's going on. This person over here is in my space too close. This lighting is too much. I'm doing too much work right now. I can't do this. I can't do that. Somebody said this sentence, or I thought this once somebody said that. That's what being in the present allows you to be. It allows you to be there to see what the details are going on in that moment and what is affecting you and how it's affecting the way you think. Because it's real easy to numb yourself and forget those thoughts. And months later or years later, you're trying to go back and heal and fix trauma, but you won't know it until it's ignited again. And over time, it gets ignited over and over again. So I hope that answers your question.
Did anybody else go to sleep early last night just because it was just too much, and woke up to the results of the election and all day have been on autopilot? Just autopilot. Just like that SpongeBob episode where he's normal, where he's like, hi, how are you? Like, just being normal, just hyper focused on work because that's something I can control. Working in silence, no music, no podcast, nothing, just trying to figure out how to function, considering the election. Just autopilot. Like, getting out of bed was tough. Like, just I don't know. I don't know.
The level of autopilot that I'm on right now, it is frustrating, and I don't like being on autopilot. It is truthfully more exhausting than just living freely, I guess. And I say that because I realized I was thinking on the way from the grocery store, just like how kind of unhappy I am right now. Don't get me wrong, like, my job is great. I have a really good job. I have a really good partner. A lot of good things going for me right now. But, like, just my attitude in general is just kind of like, meh. And here's my comparison. So, I was employed for 9 months between 2022 and 2023. And during that time, I was relying on my fiance for, like, money, obviously. And because I had no income, zero. But you know what I did have? Do you know what I did have? I had energy. I had time. I was able to cook and make art and be creative and get up when I wanted to and go to sleep when I wanted to and eat when I wanted to, and nothing was rigid. It was just like so very go with the flow. And I really, really thrived when I was not working. Like, my mind was so clear. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a few dark days, but overall it was such a good time for me. And so now I've been employed for about 8 months now, and the level of autopilot that I've been on for about the past 4 months is just insane to me. Like, I don't have the energy to cook nutritious meals. I don't have the energy to be creative at all. I don't have it. Like, after I am work me all day long, 5 days a week, I have such a hard time making time for myself to do the things that I enjoy. And part of that is because it takes me so long to decompress from the week. Like, it genuinely takes me like 2 days to decompress, take my time to go through what happened during the week, and then get ready for the upcoming week. And it was not like this for me before, but ever since I was unemployed, it's just been so hard for me to make the effort for myself. And it's truly just like, I come home and it's like my mind goes blank. It's like, okay, finally I can take a breath, I can chill. I don't have to be work me, you know, be professional and like on top of my shit, whatever. Which, don't get me wrong, I love my job, have a great partner, everything's great, good, dandy. But the level of autopilot is just like, I feel like a zombie most days, honestly. And the weekend comes around and I'm like, oh my god, I just want to rest. Like, I don't even have the energy to pull out my hobbies and make shit in the kitchen and go paint something or whatever. Anyway, I was just shocked by realizing how much of autopilot I was on. But anyway, happy Sunday.
I had a annual doctor's appointment yesterday, and she asked me how I've been feeling overall. And I was like, you know what? Over the past 6 months, I have felt better than I have felt in years. And she asked me what had changed. Like, you know, you expect, I guess, your patient to say, oh, I've been eating better, I've been exercising. And that's not what it is. It's that I quit a job that I absolutely loved, a job I had for 20 years that I feel I was good at, that gave me a lot of joy in my heart. But once I became a mom, I did not realize that the job and career that I loved put me in an autopilot, fight or flight mode that I didn't even realize I was on. Until the very end, when I started feeling like this working and being a mom is literally going to kill me. So I quit that job. I gave up that career of 20 years that I love. Felt like it was just the right time, and so I do not miss it. I love being a stay-at-home mom, but I've always been a very driven, motivated person, and it's like I need something, and I wanted to make an extra income. And I found a way to make an income for our family, but also being a stay-at-home mom. And it's just amazing how great I feel because I'm not laying awake in bed at night worrying about my job. I'm going to bed at a decent hour because I'm not at my job late and I have plenty of time to wind down. And it's like my full focus and the energy I have is going towards my family. And then I've got this fun thing on the side that I'm doing, which is also contributing financially to my family, which makes me feel great. If this resonates with you, I actually prayed before I did this message, hoping it would maybe reach one other mom that is feeling, or maybe you don't even know that you're on fight or flight, autopilot right now, but you know what, there needs to be a change. Maybe you can feel within you that you do not feel your best and you're not sure what the other option is. I'd love for you to drop a learn in the comments or feel free to DM me and let me send you what I'm doing and see if you think you would be interested in this, because it definitely has bettered my life. It is allowing me to start living my life and not working through it. My dad always said, work to live, don't live to work. And I feel like I got to a place where I was doing that. And now, one thing I'll never regret is being a stay-at-home mom and being able to be with my son, especially during these precious years where he's little. So, again, comment, learn if you want to learn more. I feel like there's a lot of exhausted moms out there. We don't have to be that tired.
Also, I just have to share that I, as you know, am in a day job where I'm on a screen for 8 hours and in meetings and virtual things. And often I am like midday tired because It's unnatural to be on a computer and working in that way, right? It is. It's, you already know. And I started doing this thing where right after work, I would like feed the dogs and take them outside and all of that. And then I would do a 20 to 30 minute meditation. And I realized that you don't know how much your brain is spinning out on and ruminating on and just like trying to tell you all the things in your to-do list, and I didn't do these things, and did I say that correctly, and oh my god, I got, and you're like, that's enough. So if you get the chance and you have the time, I highly recommend a break in between work and into living.
A few years ago, I used to be on the computer for about 12 hours a day, from morning to night. I would say anywhere from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. just straight coding 100% of the time. And it was a lot. And a lot of the times I was just in autopilot mode, and it is no way to live life, honestly. I think that we should just be fully present each and every time that we have a chance.
So if the subconscious mind accounts for 95% of our mind, what does that even mean? What does that look like in real life? Okay, so hypothetically, you're driving. Driving is something you likely do subconsciously. Do you think about how you press the gas and then press the brake? Or does your body just do it? Your body just automates driving. It's wild. That's the power of the subconscious mind. You can be thinking about what you're going to make for dinner, what you're going to do later today. You can be thinking about that while your subconscious is controlling you moving through a town. That's the power of the subconscious. It is so incredibly powerful. It makes every movement automatic. That's why your big emotions, your big thoughts, your big feelings, your beliefs about yourself, that's why all of that is automatic, because it all comes from your subconscious. Your subconscious has all the power. Tell me what you think about this. I want to hear.
Sweetheart, it's Talk About It Tuesday. You're having a hard time because you're living on autopilot. And while autopilot allows us to perform routine tasks without giving too much energy or too much conscious effort, it can lead to disconnection, lack of awareness, and unintentional living. I'll say the last one again, unintentional living. You're disconnected from your family and friends. You're not aware of your true needs, let alone the intentional living. None of that happens when people are overwhelmed. They're distracted. Their brains default to familiar routines in order to cope. You're on autopilot. And don't worry, I was on autopilot, I don't know, for about 10, at minimum 10 years. So with that in mind, what I did was prioritize productivity over my presence. I was on autopilot. Don't worry. Autopilot can be taken care of. I'm going to give you 3 steps in order to do that. Number 1, awareness. Recognize when you're on autopilot is the first step. So how do you recognize that? You recognize it by knowing that I'm just constantly going. I'm not stopping to enjoy the moment, which leads me to number 2, which is mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. Bring attention back to the present moment. I'll say it again. Bring attention back to the present moment. Why? So you can enjoy it. And number 3, purpose. Identify meaningful goals. Identify meaningful goals or passions intentionally into your daily actions. I'm going to say number 3 again because we don't do that at all. 3 is purpose. Identify meaningful goals or passions intentionally into your daily actions. My name is Dani Sheldon, your favorite life coach. And this evening, that's what we're going to be talking about. Purposeful living, purposeful goals. And one of the things that we do not do is know and understand the purpose of our goals. We're going to talk about that tonight, so get locked in at 6:30. Like, comment, follow for more, and I look forward to seeing y'all then.
For the love of God, please do not wait until you hit rock bottom to start changing your damn life. As someone who's waited multiple times to getting to that rock bottom place, I promise you, when God removes his hands from your life, when you remove your favor, when you start to let yourself fall into that dark hole, it's way harder to climb yourself out of it. So take advantage of the time you have now where you see things aren't going your way, where you see that you're not happy in that relationship, at that job, with the way you're living your personal life, with how you look physically and how your health is going along. Don't be like everyone else and have to wait until you hit that wake-up call, until that person breaks your heart, until that job fires you and you still got bills to pay, until your life is in shambles and there's no one around you to help. And the way you do that is very simple. I'm going to explain exactly how. All you need to do is think of and write down every single thing that the ideal version of yourself would be doing. How would they dress? How would they talk? How would they let people treat them? How would they treat other people? What would they be doing in their free time? Write every single detail down you can, and then just do it. Every single day, whether you see results in your 3D world or you don't see results. When those addictions come up that pulls you back to that toxic lifestyle, that pulls you back into that unhealthy mindset, notice those thoughts. Don't ignore them. Notice those unconscious thoughts that come up and stop them from controlling your behavior. Practice thinking new thoughts. Even write those thoughts down. Okay, this is what I think about myself. This is what's stopping me from moving forward in my business or in my life or in my relationships. That's all it takes. And if you do that enough times, over and over and over again, you will have the life that you've been asking for. But nothing is going to change unless you change. So if you keep doing the same shit, what's going to happen? Same result.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.